Okay, that's the background, so we'll take some questions.
If the call came in about 8:30, it's been reported that the alert didn't go out until almost 10 o'clock. So that would have kind of taken up almost the whole 90-minute window the person supposedly warned about. Why did it take so long?
Well, the first thing we do is evaluate the threat, right? It's easy to make a phone call. The threat, remember, was for danger in the future, in the 10 to 12 o'clock range. I was on my balcony well before 10 people were out of the building. But the first thing we need to do, and the team needs to do, is evaluate what the situation was, and that process starts immediately. If the threat had been there's something ready to go off in 5 minutes, then you don't have the time to evaluate. You just have to pull the switch. But we think the process was well in advance of when even the threatened danger was came about.
Students expressed concerns that 15 minutes, not enough time to evacuate the entire university.
Well, we weren't evacuating the entire university. We were getting students out of the building. That was the threat. So we evaluate every threat as a case. And the message of the students was get out of the building and away from the buildings. There is space on the campus. I think that took place very expeditiously. We did not try to get students off the campus because that is a different kind of matter. But that was not appropriate given the nature of the threat.
Was there a particular office that got the call? Who actually got that call?
I believe the call came into our the first threatening call came into our general number, and then it was the next step is it goes to the command center at police, and they start this evaluation process. But I want to make clear, if the threat had been something's going to happen in 5 minutes, then we treat every case individually.
Is it true that this campus has been holding drills with this same scenario recently? We heard that from several students reporting that they'd undergone a lot of drills, so when this actually happened, they were confused if it was real or drill.
Well, we clarified that. This is not a drill. We train both our police, our response team, and we train jointly with the city, APD. So we do prepare for a whole variety of scenarios. We also periodically have what would be called fire alarm drills. That is, there are a number of scenarios where you want to get people out of buildings, first of all, and fire, whether it's an individual building or across the campus. We have not, to my knowledge, we have not recently had a student-oriented drill for this particular scenario, but we do make sure that we are both the equipment and the student response to get people out of the buildings.
At this point, what percentage of buildings have been cleared?
Yes. I'm sorry?
At this point, what percentage of buildings have been cleared and deemed safe?
We've gone through the buildings, but let me say, I cannot go into all of the details. We have been working very closely, both with city, state, and federal authorities. And there is a lot of information that comes from that. We know a great deal of detail about the nature of this phone call. Let me finish. We are very confident.
Do we know
that the campus is safe? So it's going through buildings and a lot of other information that we have.
Has the caller been detained? Do you know, is he in custody, whether it's federal, state, local? Is he in custody?
Not that I know of.
Has he been identified?
Not that I know of.
Can someone detail exactly what the caller said, how he said it?
Basically, it's what I said earlier. We're not going to get into the verbatim. That's kind of part of our investigation with what we have now. But it's pretty much what I said earlier, that there is a threat to the campus.
Could you clarify the timing question a little bit? The statement the university sent out said that the call came in around 8:35 and warned of a 90-minute detonation time. and you spoke of a 10 to 12 o'clock window.
Correct.
90 minutes would take you to 10:05, and some of the students said they didn't hear about anything until shortly before camp.
Yeah, my understanding is the threat was that starting in a 90 to hour, 90 to 2.5 hour time frame, there would be a threat.
Were the buildings
and we evaluated it on that basis.
Were the buildings that were evacuated, were they classrooms or were they dorms or was it a mix?
It was all of our buildings. Because the threat was unspecified, and therefore, if we get a threat, there's a bomb or chemicals in a particular building, we'll evacuate that building. This was unspecified, so we evacuated, again, not the campus, but all of the buildings.
Some students I talked to, sir, were a little bit, they were a little concerned about the non-specific nature of the warning, too. It just said there's a danger, you should get as far away from buildings as you can. Correct. Some took that to mean leave campus, others were standing next to buildings. Is in the future, might there be more specificity? Why was it so general?
Yeah, we evaluate and debrief the response on every one of these incidences. And we always learn things where we can be clearer in the future. I'll just give an example. When we had the shooter on the campus, sirens, text messages, we had voice messages over the sirens. And we got reports back that the reverberation and sometimes the unclarity, just the audio unclarity of that, can create confusion. So we used the sirens this time to make warning and then made our text messages, which we have, I think, 67,000 of them. We use social media, which goes beyond that. We always try to be as clear as we can, appropriate given the circumstances.
UT President Bill Powers there answering questions when it comes to the protocol of issuing out those text alerts and making sure that everybody knows about the threat that they got on campus earlier this morning. He answers those questions after he says that there is no doubt in his mind that the campus is now safe after consulting with several state, local and federal sources. They have not identified the caller, the person who first called in these bomb threats, but UT President Bill Powers saying that 69,000 people signed up for those alerts and that they had to evacuate the buildings first before they could evacuate the campus. He said that the threat said that something would happen a few hours from now, not that something would happen in the next 5 minutes. If that were the case, he said, then the situation would have been much different when it came to evacuating the University of Texas campus. Campus is now open to people who want to go there. Reopened about 24 minutes ago. Classes have been canceled. Once again, UT Powers president saying that the UT campus is safe right now. KXAN.com is the place to go for more information on pictures that we're getting in from students and also any kind of coverage that we're continuing right here on KXAN and also at